In other news, this week marks the 5th year anniversary of the untimely death of St. George Kirby.
No! No!
A gentle giant.
Hold up.
A family man.
Wait a minute.
Cut down in his prime by the knee of a police officer in Minnesota.
What?
Which led to unifying a nation.
Something ain't right.
I'm Jazz Borganzo on this. No, he was a career thug.
It's true.
He had more fentanyl in him to kill a horse.
It's true.
He had rampant COVID.
It's true.
But don't shoot the messenger. It's called the autopsy.
Kyle, your facts are starting to piss me off.
But it's what's next. What's up, everyone? Jazz Borganzo, what's next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Friday. Yes, it's always nice. End of the week, going into the weekend. Enjoy. I did not know this until just a couple of days ago. But this week marks the 5th anniversary of the untimely death of the Pope? No. Of a politician? No. Of a sports figure? No. St. George Kirby. I know. A shock to the system. You know, who knew that this was going to be such a tragic passing? But anyway, St. George Kirby, 5 years ago, he died mysteriously at the knee of a police officer in Minnesota, which set off an amazing unification of a nation. No, absolutely not. No. As I said in my opener, he's a career thug. He had rapid COVID. He had more fentanyl in him to kill a horse. That's according to the autopsy. Don't shoot the messenger. And of course, which led to rioting and destruction of a nation at the cost of $5 billion, the loss of lives, property, and what have you. But don't take my word for it. This comes out of Breitbart. George Floyd's uncertain legacy is marked 5 years on. Americans on Sunday, well, not all Americans, some Americans, on Sunday marked 5 years since George Floyd was killed mysteriously by a U.S. police officer as President Donald Trump backtracks on reforms designed to tackle racisms. Floyd's deadly arrest on May 25, 2020 helped launch the Black Lives Matter movement into a powerful force that sought to resolve America's deeply rooted racial issues from police violence to systematic inequality. But since Trump's return to power in January, he was serving a first term when Floyd died, his administration axed civil rights investigations and cracked down on diversity hiring initiatives. Yes, DEI, kill it. Black Lives Matter, let's be realistic now, meanwhile, finds itself lacking support it enjoyed when protesters sprawled across the U.S. cities during the COVID pandemic, when many now agree the movement has achieved little of substance. Yeah, they acquired $90 billion in corporate blackmail and then bought houses in Los Angeles. But they're all about, the cause. An anniversary event is taking place in which has been named George Floyd Square, the area of Minneapolis where the 46-year-old took his final breath as police officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck during an arrest. A small junction of a residential part of North U.S. City. The square is covered with protest art, including a purple mural that reads, "You changed the world, George." No, not really. The optimistic message painted in 2020 is now, however, at odds with the president, who has more extreme allies, and suggested he pardon Chauvin, which of course I disagree with, who was convicted of murdering Floyd. Of course, that is a subject as well, and sentenced to more than 22 years in prison. Some experts believe that Trump's re-election was a partly backlash to Black Lives Matter activism, which include protests and turned riots into some cities and called to defund the police. Riots in some cities? No. $5 billion worth of damages and multiple cities, almost 24 to be exact, but it's called facts. Let's see here. Floyd's family members told the AFP in Minneapolis that on Friday they wanted people to continue to push the reform despite the hostile political climate. "We don't need an executive order to tell us that Black Lives Matter," said his aunt Angela Harrison, who wore a dark T-shirt depicting Floyd's face. "We cannot let a setback hold us for a great comeback. Donald Trump just didn't get the memo." She added that the nods from other relatives standing beside her. Paris Stevens, a Floyd cousin, agreed, "No one can silence us anymore." Keeping the memory going. The Floyd relatives, around with 50 other people, held a moment of silence on Friday afternoon before placing yellow roses on a roadside spot where Floyd's fatal arrest was filmed and shared around the world. In a moment of reflection, others included candlelight vigil on Sunday night during a weekend otherwise devoted to music, art, and dancing. Memorial events have been held annually since Floyd's death, and the theme for this one is "The People Have Spoken," was suggested by Nelson Mandela's grandson, Nkosi, when he visited the square, according to Harrelson. She said the defiant title was meant to reflect 5 years of protesting, added that, even though it's tiresome, we go on. Visitors are expected to pay their respects through the weekend. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Joel Foster, a physician from Minneapolis, told AFP that the square on Friday that she felt that honoring Floyd's legacy was partly a form of political resistance. Under the Trump administration, everything is trying to be rewritten and a new reality created, the 66-year-old said. We have to keep the memory going and keep the information flowing. Meanwhile, for Courtney Ross, Floyd's girlfriend when he died, the anniversary weekend brings up powerful feelings of personal loss. I miss him so much. I miss him by my side, Ross, 49, told AFP, dressed in black and holding a bunch of yellow roses. It's beautiful to see all you people come out and celebrate him, she added. You see a unification that you don't get a lot in this country lately. And people are celebrating a man you know who gave his life for us. I'm a little touched by this, so bear with me. A moment of silence. Okay, that's enough. The fact of the matter is that they are making George Floyd out to be Jesus. You know, he gave his life for us. No. A career criminal, rampant COVID, enough fentanyl to kill a horse, as I said in my opener. And of course, he did not die from the knee to the neck by Derek Chauvin. No, he died from he did not die from asphyxiation. He died from fentanyl poisoning, and that's according to the medical exam. That is according to the autopsy. So don't shoot the messenger. But the fact of the matter is that George Floyd did nothing but destroy a country. Over 24 cities burned. Let's rehash, shall we? Over 24 cities burned. $5 billion worth of damage. Police shot, police ended. People shot, people ended. People getting thrown out of their houses, forced out of their homes. Businesses burned down to the ground. Stores looted, stores robbed. Shall I go on? This is the legacy of George Kirby. You know, of course, this patron saint of fentanyl felons. So let's be realistic here. The fact of the matter is that they can have their little get-together every year, you know, to honor a man who is very dishonorable. I'm being realistic. I'm being factual. You know, am I angry? You know, touting all this up again, rehashing all this in? You bet. Because the fact of the matter is that it didn't have to happen. So Black Lives Matter. Let's get that in for a second. Black Lives Matter. They were supposed to be, you know, a group to unify black people, to bring black people together, to fight for black causes. Where have you heard them? Chirp, chirp, chirp. They got their $90 million from corporate blackmail, bought homes in Los Angeles. Of course, those homes have been foreclosed, and they're pretty much out of business. So Black Lives Matter is exactly that, a bunch of lies. And, let's not forget about Antifa, because Antifa had its part to play in it as well. But at the end of the day, George Floyd will be nothing but a blip in the nation's history. Now, should Chauvin get out? Should Chauvin be pardoned? No. I said no earlier. No, he shouldn't. He should serve some time, But to make him the default, and the reason why George Floyd is not around today, no. Again, let's go back to the autopsy. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please have a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.